All right, as promised to a small group of people, I am putting up a mobility and stretching little video for post kayaking. This is what I love to do on Mondays to help get my body back in shape for the week. Around the country, all of us are getting out on the water more, so we're gonna be even more sore. The two places that tend to get the most sore are the hips and that thoracic spine, what I talked about earlier this month in one of my other videos. I'll link it in the description. But I wanted to post this flow up. It'll take you 5 to 10 minutes. Really, it's just about moving all of the areas, getting them nice and stretched out, but getting them stretched out through movement, which allows you to recover from kayaking a lot quicker and gets you ready for the next weekend. And if you do it consistently, your moves will get better, your rotation will get better, and you will feel better longer in your boat. So you won't have as much foot numbness and things like that tends to happen being stuck in your boat forever. So some of these movements are advanced. I'm just showing you what I like to do. And if you have any questions about any of the movements, then just reach out to me and I'm more than happy to help you, especially if it's something that you can't do for because of inflexibility or because of an injury or something like that. So what we're gonna do is actually start, I call it cheerleading pose. So we're gonna start with one foot out in front of you. And all you're gonna do, you're gonna shift onto your back and then switch to the other side. And this one can be a little bit hard. So we're gonna do it from this side. And then I'm gonna show you from the side. So I just like to, like you had to do when you were younger. Most of you are guys, I doubt that you had to do cheerleading, so I was forced to. Anyway, so just starting out with that gets the hips nice and mobile and warmed up, ready to go for the next round of stuff. Next, you're gonna come standing on your feet. Now, if you don't have a lot of hip flexibility, then chances are you're gonna be grabbing just below the knees or at the shins. But if you have the flexibility, then go ahead and go down, not at the risk of like super arching your back. Take your feet about hips width apart. Your hips are gonna drop down, heart opens. This is really good for squatting and any sort of lower body exercise as well. Hips tall, hips down. You'll do that about 3 to 5 times. And then if you do want to add on more, what you'll do is you'll come down, take one arm up, the other arm up, keep the chest open as you stand up, and then come back down. So that's also an option, but you don't have to do it, okay? Next, we're gonna come nice and wide, and you're gonna shift onto one side, bending that knee, go down just as far as is comfortable. If your back heel is coming off of the ground, you're going too low. So you want that heel to stay down because we're also stretching out your heels as well as your inner thighs here. And you're gonna have more flexibility on one heel or ankle than you will on the other. Just like you will any other joint in the body. Like you have an onside and an offside, it's the same thing. Then you'll come to hands and knees. Take your right arm behind your head. You've seen all these before, it's just a different structure. Right elbow to the sky. And then your right elbow comes towards your left. Inhaling to open, just go as far as is comfortable. So if you feel like you're having to crank on your neck, you're going too far. The more that you do it, the further you'll be able to go. One more time. And then we'll switch. So left hand comes to the back of the neck, inhaling open. And exhale, coming down. This is one I do quite often. It's easy to do. You don't need any equipment. And it makes a huge impact on your mid-back, which makes it easier to breathe. But it also makes your rotation in your boat a lot smoother. One more time here. You're gonna come onto all fours, take the knees nice and wide if they're not, settle into child's pose. What you're gonna do is walk your hands to the right corner of your mat. And this is gonna allow you to open up into your left side body. You can go as far as is comfortable so long as you're not pinching into the right side. So breathing into the left rib cage here. Creating length in the spine. And then we switch sides. Taking it to the left corner, just as far as is comfortable. You want your right hip to push towards your right heel. Deep breaths. And then bring it back to center, hands and knees. Right leg's gonna come straight behind you. Take it on the outside of the left foot. Gaze to the right foot. So you're breathing into the right side body here, just a couple breaths. And then you're gonna bring the right foot in line with the right hip. You're gonna shift back just as far as is comfortable. Some people can come all the way back. Some people will just be coming halfway. If you have really tight knees and really tight front hips, then you're not gonna be able to go back all of the way. But you are gonna work your way back, and you're gonna hang out here for just a breath. Working your way forward. Mobility is like stretching, but you do it with movement. And this allows your muscles to work further in to flexibility. So it actually is, it's better if you're trying to become flexible rather than just like standing and touching your toes for 30 minutes, seconds. One more time. You're gonna come forward. Take your right foot on the outside of the right hand. Hip shift forward. Left arm comes to the sky. You're gonna feel the stretch in the front of your left hip here. And then take your hands to the mat. You can take it to the thigh if you need to. You can bring it on blocks, it doesn't matter, but hips will shift back. Straightening the right knee any amount. It doesn't have to go straight, so your stretch may look like this. Your stretch may look like this. It's totally up to you. Inhaling forward, opening, reaching with the left hand again. Taking it back. We're gonna take that knee into the mat. Left leg, reach straight out behind you. Take it on the outside of the right leg. Gaze to the left leg. Breathing into the right or left side body here. You're gonna take it in line with the left hip. And again, you're just gonna start to come back as far as is comfortable. And for some of you, that may be all the way back. For some of you, that may be halfway. You'll kind of come forward. Don't lock your elbows at all. So if you find that your joints are locked, try to loosen them. It probably is an indicator that you're working a little too hard. You should feel stretch. You should feel slight discomfort, but you shouldn't be like, your breath shouldn't be catching or anything like that. All right, stepping on the outside of the left hand. You're gonna shift the hips forward, right arm opens. You're opening the front of the right hip. That gets really, really tight, especially with moving and play boating. Hands to the mat, hips shift back any amount. And coming forward, arms reach. And then back. And then one more time, just for fun. All right, so the next thing I like to do is called a flank stretch. This is really good because we tend to get really, really tight in here. So I'm gonna take my right foot out. I'm gonna take my right hand on the inside of my right foot. Left arm reaches up overhead. I'm gonna start to reach my right hand towards my right ankle. I'm gonna let my left arm come over just as far as is comfortable. Some of you will be here, some of you will be here. The biggest thing is make sure your heart or your chest is forward. If you start to come like this, you're not getting an effective stretch, but you're also like compressing your lungs so you can't breathe very well. Which is great for all of you, well, all of you people that don't have asthma and probably don't feel that much of a difference, but it definitely is important to help open up your lungs and your muscles if you keep your heart open. Coming tall, framing that foot and folding forward. Getting the hamstrings, if you want a little bit more of a stretch, pull the toes towards you. And then we're gonna switch, so bring that foot in. Other foot comes out, so left foot is out. Left hand on the inside of the left thigh, you're gonna take your right arm overhead, start to reach towards your left ankle, and then fold. And you will notice there's gonna be one side that's easier and one side that's not as easy. And just breathe. If you want it to be as even as possible on each side, the side that you're stiffer on, for me it's this side, I would give it a little bit of extra time in this stretch to help open it just a little bit more. Chances are, if you are stretching your right side and your right hand dominant and most of your moves are initiated from the right side, you're gonna be tighter on that side because it is your stronger side, it works a lot. Bringing it up, soles of the feet together. You're gonna come nice and tall. You're gonna fold forward. This is gonna help to open the inner thighs. Coming tall. Exhaling to fold. And again, you don't wanna round your back. The point is not to get all the way down to the feet. The point is to open up the hips and the low back. So if your back is straight and you're only halfway folded, that's a lot better than rounding your back. Coming up, and we've got one more, and I've got two more things to show you. All right, this one can be pretty complicated and difficult and hard. First time I ever did this one, an 80-year-old woman showed me up. I think I was about 23. Could not do it, and I vowed to myself I would learn. So let's take your left knee in front of you. We're gonna take your right foot over the left. If you already feel a stretch here, stay here. You can even hug your left shoulder to your right knee. But those of you who want more, we're gonna try to line up knee to knee. Here's a trick. Come forward on all fours. I'm trying to shift where I think you can see it. So come forward to all fours, you can tuck your knees, and then you'll sit back. But wait, there's more. So if you feel okay with this, you wanna make sure that both sits bones are on the ground. You're gonna fold forward. Give yourself a few deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, you'll come up and then we switch however you want to switch, but your right knee will come in front, left foot tucks over, and again, any degree of this stretch, whatever works for you, you'll just slowly over time work your way down. So if you feel a stretch here, stay here. If you want to go ahead and give it a tug across the chest, go for that. You can lean forward, get those knees tucked if you have trouble tucking them. And you can stay here for your stretch or you can go forward. I've been working on this one for easily 10 to 12 years. So, and it still gives me a big stretch. The very last one is for your erectors. It's a little bit more of a subtle stretch. But what I have my clients do is tuck your chin, straight back, pie in the face, and you're slowly gonna start to tuck your chin down towards your chest, and you're gonna roll down one vertebrae at a time, keeping that chin tucked. Keep the chin tucked the entire time so chin stays tucked as you unroll one vertebrae at a time. And then you bring your neck back to neutral. There's no need to take the chin to the sky. Tucking the chin, rolling down as far as is comfortable. And then unrolling your chin is the very last thing to untuck. So it's a lot, and that's pretty much the flow that I do. So pick and choose what you want to do there. If you would have any questions, like I said, just reach out to me and let me know. So I hope you enjoy it. If you do it a few times a week, I promise it'll make a huge difference in your life. Have a great day.